Good afternoon and welcome to this webinar, Boost Your Innovation Project, thanks to academic partnerships. Thank you for joining. Let me first introduce myself. My name is Héloïse Naudy. I am a product consultant at Expernova. If you have any questions, please feel free to use the question tool on GoToWebinar and I will answer at the end. If I don't have enough time to answer your question, we will come back to you with personalized answers. You can also contact us by email on the following address, contact@expernova.com, or on my personal email address, heloisenaudy@expernova.com. This webinar will last around 30 minutes. In the agenda of today, I propose you to discover through a use case and an online demonstration of the Expernova platform how to easily identify your future academic partners working on your topics. To do so, we will start by obtaining a global vision of the organizations working on your research topic. Then we will evaluate the relevance of their scientific and technological expertise on your specific topics and their influence. And lastly, we will see how you can involve your collaborators around your research thanks to the collaborative features. But let's first take two short minutes to explain and set the context. Mr. Williamson, in his book, The Institution of the Economy, defines the notion of partnerships as a cooperation and competition mechanism between several partners with complementary capacities and willing to realize potential synergy. Companies work with the best public research partner in the world to develop a technological watch on the most advanced ideas, to access skills and tools not present in-house, to share the risks, and to provide scientific support for their work. Research organizations are turning to companies to test and to validate their research on concrete applications close to the market and to obtain funding. Encouraged by the state as promoting the emergence of new businesses, technological innovation, and therefore the competitiveness of a territory, the dialogue between public research and business is an increasingly common practice. Today, the research industry partnership has become one of the main components of research commercialization. An exclusive survey conducted by the editorial teams of Industrie and Technology and Usine Nouvelle with the CEA among a panel of more than 500 CME industrial decision makers shows that more than half of companies work or have already worked in collaboration with an academic laboratory, and that 50% are satisfied with the activity of these centers. Let's see now how to structure your partner search. The selection of a future R&D partner is a crucial phase. Structuring and rationalizing such an approach to make gains in efficiency and limit risk is not an easy task. Faced with the diversity of motivations and situations which lead to the launching of a collaborative project, one could conclude that for each project, there is a different ideal partner profile. So how to choose the academic partner that fits with your needs? To facilitate this task, it is essential to structure your partner search process. So you have to clearly express the ultimate aim of the partnership. It is a preliminary stage. It will form the basis for the main decisions in terms of the type of partner to give preference to, the readiness levels of the research, the required experience, the degree of recognition, and the location. Then, identifying the necessary scientific or technological skills for the projects needs to be done in successive stages. dividing a skill up into sub-skills, exploring comparable domains and sectors, and identifying skills which are related to a target field are often necessary stages in identifying the project specification for the ideal partner. It is also necessary to define the scope of the project. The need to access public funding, particularly when responding to call for tenders, can also impose a number of constraints on the partner profile, academic or industrial, national or European or international, and so on. So it is also essential to take into account the human resources required for the project. Is it possible to follow an international project, or is it preferable to have a geographical and/or linguistic proximity partnership? The success of a project is largely attributable to the quality of the monitoring, the ability to regularly reframe the project so as not to deviate from the previously defined goals, the profile of the internal project manager, who must have a good view of the issue and trust to the partner without necessarily being an expert, can also be a determining factor. So once you have defined your need and the profile of your future partner, you must now be able to identify him and validate its expertise. So at Expernova, we offer you access to expertise via the identification of innovative players. Founded in 2008, Expernova is a big data platform that aims to help you understand the innovation activity of your competitors, partners, suppliers, and customers through the analysis of scientific and technological expertise. Also, I would like to let you know that Expernova had just been acquired by the Questel Group during the summer. So by combining the best patent analysis tool on the market with the best of competency mapping, Questel intends to deliver a unique platform offering R&D teams the resources and knowledge they need to identify future technology and monitor their ever-changing environment. But let's go back to Expernova. How does Expernova work? By tracking and analyzing global innovation work, such as scientific publications, patents, conference, clinical trials, projects, and millions of targeted web pages, Expernova provides its users with accurate mapping of the most innovating stakeholders at a global level. Expernova creates an innovation graph data model of the experts, innovative companies, universities, network, and knowledge that pinpoint innovation opportunity for every industry. These graphs building blocks come from the scientific and technological data collected all over the world, targeting the innovation leaders, linking experts with organization, and tracking the collaborations. This information is stored in our database model that emphasizes the relationships between entities. Expernova obsession is connected data. Why using Expernova to identify innovating actors? First, because the database is continuously improved. The Expernova database is unique with its continuous aggregation since 2008. Also, Expernova provides you with a global and multi-sectoral analysis of scientific and technological data. The Expernova database covers three main geographical zones: North America, continental Europe, and Southeast Asia, and more than 400 scientific domains. The database of scientific documents on which Expernova is based includes more than 300 different data sources, such as base of research institutes, national bases, open access bases, thematic or university bases, and so on. Expernova offers a single web interface that gives access to different types of scientific and technological works. The database includes 5 types of scientific works: scientific publications such as peer-reviewed articles, theses, conference proceedings, and so on; patent, European collaborative project, FP5, FP6, FP7, and H2020, and collaborative American project, SBIR and STTR; clinical trials, and also declarative data, that is to say the web pages and the skill description communicated by the organization on their website. Expernova counts today around 82 million of patents, 32 million of scientific articles, 270,000 clinical trials, and around 240,000 projects, so European and American projects. And Expernova gives you real-time access to global scientific and technological knowledge through monthly platform updates. Every month, 1,000 new organizations and 500,000 new documents are added to the platform. Expernova is the only platform that tracks and analyzes global innovation activity to generate dynamic and rich innovation profiles of organizations and experts. Expernova's innovation profiles synthesize the expertise, the experience, and even the influence of innovation players, both at the level of individuals and organizations, whether it is companies, universities, research institutes, and so on. Save up to 5-day data compilation with an Expernova profile. So with Expernova, you access to structured profiles. By combining big data and human curation, Expernova has created rich and structured profiles that link experts with organizations, subsidiaries with groups, research teams with universities. These innovation profiles details innovation activity. On a single profile, you will have a complete overview of the innovation activity, such as the IP, the scientific activity, the grant, the project, the clinical trial, the connection, and you can easily identify the positioning of their work from early stage projects to industry application. You can easily understand the openness to collaboration, national or international dimension, academic or business-oriented activities, and potential risk of competition. The profiles justify why an expert or an organization is relevant on a topic. Expernova gives you immediate insights to understand why an expert or an organization is relevant on your specific topic. The system explains you the player experience, the networks and communities, the people and works, and provides you with a synthetic overview. You can also compare two players and identify in a few seconds their common competencies or specificities. That's what I propose to show you today through a use case and an online demonstration. So now let's go through the use case. I am an R&D manager of a company that manufactures phytosanitary products and works in particular on the development of biopesticides of the future to limit crop losses. I would like to establish a partnership with an academic research laboratory to help me develop this biopesticide against mycotoxin. Mycotoxin are toxic molds from microscopic fungi that contaminate many plants' foods, such as fruits or cereals. These partnerships would give me access to an expertise on the mycotoxin and to skills and tools that I do not have internally, which would allow to ensure a competitive edge to my company. So now we will move to the Expernova platform and we will start a search. So to do so, the first step is to start a search on our research topic. So we need to enter the query, so in our case, mycotoxin. And then you can click the search button to run the query and view the search results interface. So this is the search result interface, and the goal here is to get a global vision of the actors working on my research topic, the mycotoxin. So let's first take a look at the search result interface for this query on mycotoxin. So at the top of the screen here, there is a header that displays the current query, and below 6 pictograms combined to a color code that shows the type and the number of results. So it means that on our query, mycotoxin, on our research topic, the Expernova platforms has identified 37,000 experts working on the mycotoxin. In gray, you have the organization, so it includes academic and industrial organization. So Expernova has identified 144 organizations. Then in yellow, you have the publication. In orange, you've got the patent families. In red, we have the projects. And in green, you have the clinical trials. Underneath the header, you will have access to list and graph. From the different list, you can access to the list of people, of experts, the physical person who are working on the mycotoxin. Then you have the list of the organizations. So they are divided into 3 blocks: companies, so all the industrial organization, companies, SMEs, and so on. The R&D centers, so at the level of the laboratory, and then the academics, so which includes universities, public research institute, hospitals, and so on. And finally, you can access to the list of the scientific works related to mycotoxins. So you can access to the scientific publication, the patent families, the projects, and the clinical trials. Before viewing the list of academic organizations working on mycotoxin, I draw your attention to the collaborative network graph, which shows you the network of players formed around the topic mycotoxin. So here you can see which actors have collaborated the most on mycotoxin. So it allows to view the main interaction between the company and the R&D centers on the mycotoxin. So the bubble represents the organization. Okay, and so for example, this bubble, when you click on it, it displays a profile, the organization profile. So if you don't know which is the Department for Agrobiotechnology, just click on it to display its profile on the right, so we can see that it is an Austrian department of the Universities of Natural Resources and Life Science in Vienna. Then, when you put your mouse over a bubble, you can see some lines that are underlined. So this line show you the scientific interaction. So what is an interaction? The interaction can be scientific collaboration, such as co-publication or a participation to a common project. So the more an organization has a strong activity on the subject, the more it is highlighted on the graph and the bigger the bubble is. So here, for example, we see that the Department of Agrobiotechnology and the NCAUR, the National Center for Agricultural Utilization Research, have a strong collaborative activity on our research topic and stand out on the graph. So this graph gives you an overview of the network of collaboration of the main actors working on mycotoxin. You can see that there are peripheral networks. So it shows some organizations that may work on a different domain than the other network. So this graph allows you to quickly detect who works with whom on your research topic and on which application. You can also see which organizations are the most connected in terms of network, and you can identify the game of actors. So now let's go back to the list of organizations. So for practical reason, the organizations are classified in according to their type. So you can see three main blocks. So the industrial organizations, the companies. Below you have the R&D centers or the laboratories, the research units. And lastly, you have the academic blocks. So the goal now is to identify the list of academic actors working on mycotoxin. So these academic actors can be universities, public research institutes, hospitals, or the laboratories or research units associated to this institution. So to view the full list of academic actors, click the cross here at the top right corner of the block. And so here we have the list of the academic actors that work on the mycotoxin in all scientific fields and all countries. So at the top of the list, we can see the University of Natural Resources and Life Science in Austria, in Vienna. Then we have the Ghent University in Belgium. We have the Michigan State University in the United States, and so on. You can change the ranking criteria of academic actors. So by default, the academic organization are ordered by relevance, but you can order them alphabetically or by number of scientific works, scientific publication, project, and so on. And you can also apply filters to your list to filter your searches. So first, you can, for example, apply a geographical filter to target a geographical area. So you can apply this filter at the level of the continent or at the level of the country. So here, for example, we can see that there is 21 academic organizations in Germany that have been identified as working on the mycotoxin, 77 in France, 5 in Finland, and so on. So remember that you can apply the filter at the level of the country or at the level of the continent. So in our use case, as I am looking for a nearby university in geographical term, I will use a geographical filter to display only European academic organization working on my topic. So I just check Europe and then I click on apply to apply the filter. So this geographical filter gives us an idea of the geographical distribution of the academic actors of all sizes and all fields working on mycotoxin. So the goal now is to identify the universities that work on my research topic and in my scientific field. So for that, we can use a filter per scientific domain, the select topic filter here. So in our use case, I will choose the agricultural sciences, chemical sciences, human health, and life sciences. And of course, I click on apply to apply my filter. So by applying this filter, we have obtained now the list of academic actors working on my subject and in the same scientific domain than my company. And finally, if you want to target a type of organization, such as universities or hospitals, for example, you can use the class filter here. Okay, so I would like to focus on the university, so I will remove the academic institute and the healthcare institution to get only the universities. And so I click on apply. And of course, you see, we can combine the three filters to target a particular type of academic actor in a specific scientific domain and in a specific geographical area, as I just did. So we have just seen how to obtain a global vision of the academic actor working on mycotoxin. We have also seen that you can target a specific type of organization universities, hospitals, research institutes, or you can target a specific geographical area, or you can target a specific scientific domain thanks to the filter available at the top of the list of academic actors. So here in our use case, by applying the geographical domain and class filters, we just obtain the list of European universities working on mycotoxin and in the same field as my company. Now, we will analyze the expertise of an academic actor on mycotoxin. So to do so, we will open the profile of a university to access its expertise, its community of experts, its scientific work, and finally, its network of collaborations. Each university profile will show you which research units have been identified as working on my research topic, that is to say the department, and more specifically the laboratories, because the expertise is held by people working in the laboratories and department of the universities. So Expernova manages the different level of granularity within a structure. Thus, each laboratory or university department has its own profile with its own expertise and its own community of experts. This allows you to easily navigate between the different labs of a university and identify those that are most likely to interest you. So you can directly open the profile of an organization by clicking on its name. So universities are ranked by relevance on my research topic. So as Boku University has been identified as one of the most relevant actors on the mycotoxin, I propose you to open its profile, and to do so, I will click on its name. So the profile of Boku is displayed on the right. I click on open to display it fully. And so you can see the name of the organization of the university, its place of establishment, the type of organization, so it is a universities, and you have a links that give you a direct access to the different subdivisions, so the department and the laboratory of the organization. Then below you can find the research topic of the main research topic of the university. You have a quick description of the university and contact information and a link to its website. And you have the why section here. Expernova analyzes for you why this profile is considered relevant on your research topic thanks to the why. In other words, why does this university appear in the search results? So the why show you element of analysis on the expertise of the profile of the organization, such as its experience, how long has it been working on the topic, has it published recently on the topic? So here we can see that Boku has been working on the mycotoxin for 22 years now. He has recently published works on the topic, and the mycotoxin is quoted in the organization description. Then you have another section called People and Works. So it is information related to its expert community and their scientific works. Who are the experts of the university working on the mycotoxin? What are the publication or the patent published by Boku on the mycotoxin? So here we can discover that 141 experts of the university has been identified as working on the mycotoxin. And of course, this is clickable, so you can access to the profile of each of these 141 experts. And below, Expernova has identified the publication and patent families related to the mycotoxin and published or invented by the university. And finally, you have also an access to the web pages of the university website related to the mycotoxin. So all these links are clickable, so you can access to the publication, the patent family, and the web document. Lastly, in the networks and community section, you can access the university collaborative networks on your research topic. You can access the profile of the organization with which BOCU has collaborated the most on mycotoxin. So in this case, you can see that it is the Herber group. In addition, you are informed that BOCU University has collaborated with organizations in 15 country, so it gives you insights of the university area of influence. And you can also see that the university has already participated in 7 collaborative projects related to mycotoxin, and you can see that there is an ongoing project on this topic in which the university also participates. Finally, Expernova has also identified for you the research unit of BOCU that works specifically on mycotoxin. So here we have 6 schools or departments of the University of BOCU that have been identified as working on the mycotoxin, and everything is clickable. So we can access the level below, and we can access to the list of the department of the university which are working on the mycotoxin. So here, the departments are ordered by relevancy. So I propose you to open the department for agrobiotechnology, as it seems to be the most relevant on our research topic. And one more time, you get information related to the department for agrobiotechnology, and you have information related to your research topic that is displayed in the Y section. So one more time, you have elements in terms of experience, people and works. And in the networks and community, you can access to the collaborative network. And we can see that there is 2 probably laboratory affiliated, associated to this department, which got the expertise on the mycotoxin. So let's click on this link to display the list of the laboratory working on the mycotoxin. So I propose you to open the Center for Analytical Chemistry here. And one more time, you see it's always the same structure. In the Y section, you can go directly to the element of analysis, showing you the list of the experts working on mycotoxin. So you can access the list of the experts working on mycotoxin within the laboratory, and this is crucial information, because remember that the expertise is held by the research staff. So during a partnership, you will have to build a research team and integrate the most competent experts. So with Expernova, you can access the list of the people in the lab who work on your subject. So each expert has a unique profile that gives you access to his expertise and works in collaborative network. Thus, you can identify the most interesting profiles likely to form your future team. And then you have the collaborative network of this laboratory. So I propose you to open it. So click on the 50 connection to display the collaboration of the Center for Analytical Chemistry and Mycotoxin. So this collaboration network allows you to easily see with who the Center for Analytical Chemistry lab collaborates on mycotoxin, and even better, you can access the details of the collaboration. So you have the Center for Analytical Chemistry here in the middle, and all over you have all the organizations with which it has collaborated or is collaborating. Below, you have exactly the same information under the form of a list. And the advantage here is you have filters that you can apply on the list. So here, for example, you have the class filters, which allows you to filter by type of organization, that is to say the companies or the laboratory. And if we apply a filter by per type of organization, we can decide to display only, for example, the companies to see with whom the laboratory collaborate. This may allow you, for example, to check that the laboratory is not already working with your competitors. In the same way, you can target collaboration in the specific geographical area using the country filter. And you can also filter the collaboration according to the field of application thanks to the topic filter. All this information is summarized in the graph above here that tell you first, the distribution of per type of organization, the collaboration of the Center for Analytical Chemistry Laboratory on mycotoxin. So here we can see that the laboratory collaborate with 46% of departments, and then at 24% of companies. So we can conclude that this center as a razor academic network. Then you can find the geographical distribution of the Center for Analytical Chemistry Laboratory. And we see that the collaboration are essentially made with the USA at 26% and with Austria at 22%. So we can say that this university, this center, has an international network. And finally, you can access to the list of the scientific areas from which the co-publication of the Center for Analytical Chemistry Laboratory are published. And it's clickable, so you can access the subdomain. And to finish, so we can see, for example, that this center has collaborated with the Eber group, okay? And now we would like to know what they've done together. So to get this information, click on Open Connection to display a collaboration form between the Center for Analytical Chemistry and the Eber group. And one more time, in the why, Expernova explain you why this collaboration is relevant on our research topic. And we can see that these two organizations have been working on the mycotoxin for 16 years, and they have co-published 46 co-publication, and it's clickable, so you can access them. They are coming. Here they are. So let's summarize what we've done. So all this information allows you not only to verify the area of influence of the laboratory, but also to discover other research units workings on your research topics. So I show you the collaboration network at the laboratory level, but remember that you have access to this network of collaboration at the level of each entity, whether it is the department or the university. To summarize, we have just seen how to analyze the expertise of an academic actor on the mycotoxin. So for this, we have opened the profile of a university to access its expertise, its community of experts, its works, and finally, in its works of collaboration on our research topic. We identified the research unit working on mycotoxin, and we were able to access their expertise, their scientific publication and patents on mycotoxin, their experts, and finally, their network of collaboration on the mycotoxin. And we have also been able to access the profile of the researcher affiliated with this laboratory, which allows you to see if their expertise corresponds to your needs in the framework of a partnership. So all of these elements allows you to evaluate whether this research unit can be interesting partners. So to finish, now that you have accessed the relevant information, it is time to capitalize on the knowledge gain. So to do so, Expernova platform has export feature and share feature and also bookmark feature. So remember that you can bookmark export profiles, and you can also export list of organization with the filter you applied. So you can export all the lists. So that brings me to the end of today's webinar. So to conclude, let's summarize all that we have done. So today we have seen how from a few keywords you can identify in a few seconds academic actors working on mycotoxin. We've seen how to apply filters to target a geographical area, an organization type, or a scientific area. We applied a geographical filter to target European academic organization. Then we applied a filter by type of organization to target universities. And finally, we applied a filter per scientific domain to display only the universities that work in the same scientific domain as my company. We have accessed the profile of these universities to verify their expertise by accessing their work, their experience, and their community of experts on our research topic. We have identified the research units, that is to say, the labs that work on our subject, and we were able to check their expertise and access the profile of their researchers. Finally, we were also able to access the collaboration network of this university and their laboratory on our research topic to check their network and therefore the area of influence. And access to all this information allows me on the hand to check the size of the network and therefore the area of influence of the university of the laboratory. It also allows me to identify other laboratories that work on the same research topics than me. And finally, we have seen how to capitalize on the knowledge acquired through the bookmark export or profile sharing function. So I also wanted to tell you that I did this webinar in the context of a standard environment. However, depending on your needs, we can create customized result interface, for example, with only results from UK or US actors. So if you are interested, do not hesitate to contact me. So now I propose you to go to the questions. So I realize I'm very late, so I will just take one or two questions and then I will come back to you with personalized answer. So there is a question about the search syntax. So yes, we support the Boolean operator and or not, so you can combine keywords and build advanced query. How did you classify universities? So the university we saw, they were ordered by relevance. And to define the relevancy, there are some criteria. So the algorithm behind the search engine is very complex. But to make it simple, let's say that there are four main criteria. First, it is a number of occurrences of the keyword in the document. For example, if you have a publication with 50 times the word mycotoxin, we will consider that it is more relevant than a publication where you can see only one time the keyword mycotoxin. Then we take into account the position of the keyword in the scientific works. So the coefficient won't be the same depending if the keyword is localized in the title or in the description. We will take also into account the type of document. So for example, a peer-reviewed article will carry more weight than a scientific poster. And lastly, we'll take also into account the publication date. So we privilege the most recent publication. So this webinar is now finished, and for the question I did not answer, I will send you a personalized answer. So now it's your turn to use Expernova. If you are not yet a user, please feel free to ask for a personalized demo at contact@expernova.com. Thank you very much for your time, and bye-bye.